I'm delighted to be joined by Dorel Blitz, Vice President, Strategy and Business Development of Personetics. Welcome, Dorel.
Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for giving us your time. Really appreciate it. So tell us a little bit about Personetics.
So, in very quick, Personetics is a 12 years old growth fintech company, around 350 employees, backed by some of the world's largest private equities, Thoma Bravo, Warburg Pincus, and some, US VCs. We also have two banks as investors, Santander from Europe and UOB from Asia. And basically, we are being perceived as the global category leader in the space of financial data-driven personalization and customer engagement for financial services. Basically, we're helping banks to unlock the biggest value they have in their customers' financial data. We're helping banks to actually leverage this amazing asset, financial transactional data, in order to quickly drive a significant business impact and market differentiation. Basically, to help banks to proactively engage with customers, helping them to better manage their financial life, increase financial well-being, and on the other side, helping banks to efficiently better sell and service their own customers.
That is fantastic, Dorel. The question is, are there other players in the market? How are you different? Like, what makes you so successful and so different from others?
So there are not a lot of partners and companies in the market that are analyzing financial transactional data, because it's quite unique to do that at a scale in different banks, in different geographies, in different infrastructures, right? So we do see some companies active, in the PFM space, personal financial management. But this is a very old, outdated solution that is mostly looking on historical data, not necessarily looking on the future data, not necessarily able to drive business impact at a scale. We are looking on marketing analytics companies that are working around the financial transactional data and trying to provide next best action, next best advice. But when it comes, Abhishek, to financial transactional data and the ability to quickly drive business impact, to help banks to increase customer engagement, customers' trust, account and balance growth, conversion rates, there are not really a lot of companies and capabilities in that market, and that maybe explain the growth of Personetics with 85 banks in 32 markets.
That is awesome, fantastic. So one of the things that we do a lot is working with neobanks to help set up banks. How do you help in those cases when they don't have any data, they're just starting at the beginning, and where does Personetics fit in those situations?
So this is a great question, because actually these banks where they don't have enough data, or some of them are trying to use maybe open banking data, they are starting with a very basic proposition. Now, let's agree that most of the banks are selling the same products almost at the same price. So one of the biggest questions these digital banks are asking themselves is how they can quickly differentiate, how they can quickly onboard customers, what is the real value they can bring their customers, and it's mostly related to the financial data-driven engagement. So these banks are actually using Personetics, even without the data, just to start the personalized engagement, to help customers to onboard, start with the first product, starting with two-ways engagement, with trivias and quizzes, helping customers just to better understand their financial situation, what is coming up, even with zero data, looking on their cards, on their first purchases on their cards, looking on their cash flow just from the first month, and starting to build this kind of relationship and trust that when the product will kick in, then they will be able to efficiently better sell.
And also, I think starting from the day one allows you to be prepared rather than trying to slap it in later on, which might be much more expensive later on.
Correct. Exactly. And I think this is becoming a big global market standard. The ability of banks to become a real-time, cool friend, trusted advisor from day one, moving from a reactive approach into a smart, proactive, financial data-driven approach. And by doing so at a scale, with the right proposition, with the right hyper-personalized insights, alerts, recommendations, with the right content from day one. Like you said, this is what really drives the differentiation and the business impact.
Absolutely. How are you addressing typical banking concerns around privacy, customer data, compliance, security, regulatory?
That's a great question. One of the uniqueness of Personetics is that we are a white label solution. We are leveraging only what customers of the banks already using today, which is their last 6 months of historical financial data. So we are not going after social media or geolocations. The second thing, we are able to implement Personetics on-premise. We do not move the data, we do not duplicate the data. Everything stays where it is within the banks. So this is a complete GDPR data privacy compliant. We are also able to provide in specific markets opt-in, opt-out for specific customers and their usage of insights. And with the best important thing, we are providing banks the tools so they can determine by themselves what are the kind of content they want to provide their customers, for which segments, what are the triggers, what are the thresholds, and decide exactly on the journeys using their own internal data without data privacy issues.
So you are basically using customers' own data itself rather than going outside and getting social media and other type of data and trying to correct.
Exactly, and I'm able to help banks to accelerate their own innovation and to adapt to market changes by becoming smart, proactive, engaging with their customers every time when they are logging in or through push notifications or through desktop or mobile or through the CRM systems to the bankers, and drive hyper-personalized touch that drives the business impact, helping them to efficiently sell.
Awesome. Thank you, Dorel. Now I have some quick rapid-fire questions.
Sure,
right?
please.
So short answers, one-line answers. All right. If you could sum up the future of the industry in 3 words, what would you say?
Wow, I would say definitely moving from reactive to proactive and a lot of automation. I think that people care about dreams, about needs, not about banking products and specific services. So the ability to drive automation and to drive that in a proactive approach, that's the future of the industry. Our vision is self-driving finance. We believe that banks, very similar to self-driving cars, should be able to proactively even act on behalf of their customers to fulfill their financial well-being.
So the 3 words are proactive, automation, and?
I would say hyper-personalization. Definitely.
Okay. All right. Second question. If you could change one thing about the industry, what would it be?
I would say definitely shift in the managers, in the top level business stakeholders' minds about the necessity and the urgency to act now and not to wait until they will finish digital transformation. Do it now.
Awesome. Last question. What will be the bank of 2027 look like?
Oh, that's a great question. It will be super relevant in any channel, in any device. It will look out for its customers. It will even do things on behalf of its customers. So in one way, it's a self-driving finance bank.
So Dorel, thank you so much again. Thanks for your time. This was fantastic. Great insights from you. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me, Abhishek.
Thank you very much, Dorel. This is clearly a very exciting space, and it was fantastic to get Dorel's perspective on it. All that remains is for me to say thank you for watching, and please subscribe for more insights from Publicis Sapient.